Rachel White is a cocktail waitress at a truck stop strip club in an interstate cowtown in Central California. As her life spirals out of control, poverty and paranoia force her to make a string of increasingly desperate decisions. Decisions that will lead her to the Hell Patrol, a paramilitary organization of hot rod driving mercenaries that hunt demons for fame and fortune. This is Hell Patrol Origins.
Rip and tear until it is done.
Chapter 14.
Go, 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 get right up her ass!
Henry's voice crackled loud over the radio. Rachel was sitting in her car, engine idling, around a blind corner like a cop. Lipstick's unfair lady shot past her down the dilapidated street like a purple blur, the all-terrain tires and suspension skipping over potholes and garbage like the trail of destruction left by a tornado. Hell followed behind her. Rachel couldn't get an immediate count of the demons that pursued Lipstick, but Henry was right. Not that she ever doubted him, but the Judas Goat strategy worked. The demons relentlessly chased the first thing they saw, never gave up, never changed course, single-minded in their desire to rip and tear mortal flesh. Rachel didn't need to be told that their sole goal was to pull Lipstick out of that car like a piece of chocolate from a candy wrapper and swallow her whole. She gunned the engine and pulled out onto the street. It all made sense now, why the Judas Goat needed to be a real driver, not just a tiefling with a set of wheels. Henry had told her that if she could get on Lipstick's ass and scratch her back, she was fit to drive Judas Goat. If she couldn't, then Henry would have to pick up the slack. Rachel felt the Polara lurch under her as the automatic transmission dropped a gear beneath her foot, glued to the floor, and one of the demons, a roughly human-sized, angry-looking naked freak with horns and long claws, bounced off her bull bars and over her fender, its skull bashed in, brains splashing across her windshield. Instinctively, Rachel pulled the lever for the windshield wipers, and the spray of gore disappeared in a pink mist, with only a few errant chunks of demon still stuck to the safety fencing that protected the window. Rachel didn't know demons had brains. She assumed they did, but the anatomy of a demon was a strange thing and you could never be sure. Now there were some on her car. Lipstick's taillights glared at Rachel from the sheltered housing in the Frankenstein armored rear half of her car. From behind, with the tombstone protecting her, you never would have guessed there was a classic Z-car under all that stainless steel and ceramic plating. The red gaze blinked, momentarily obscured by the flapping of wings. There was a living cloud of imps chasing Lipstick, flying, bat-winged demons the size of children, with needle-like teeth and razor-tipped claws. I almost said razor-sharp. It's razor-tipped in this sentence. They flung themselves full force at that purple car, and it was Rachel's job to get them off of her. Behind her, she heard the throaty roar of Henry's Monaro, and knew that he was on her back the way she was on Lipstick's, there to peel the demons off of her if she needed it. Rachel mentally blocked him out. She trusted that he would take care of her, and focused. There was only her fingers gripping the wheel, her foot on the floor, and her thumbs on the studs that fired her machine guns. The red taillights of the unfair lady were a road to freedom. Chase them. Kill everything between you and them. Get paid for it. Get paid a shitload for it. A new life, an end to poverty, excitement, freedom, be your own boss. Just sell your soul to Hell Patrol for a car and a dream. She pressed the studs and held them. The automated feed belts that snaked through the cabin of the Polara shivered and squirmed as bullets fed up them, like strings of Chinese firecrackers. Her rearview mirrors looked like a shower of brass rain as she left a trail of empty hot shells behind her car, and in front of her, she momentarily lost sight of the red glare behind the flashing strobe of her firing guns. Lipstick's car was peppered with sparks where Rachel's machine guns hit her, but as she had already told her before, Rachel knew that the 7.62 rounds would not penetrate the boxy armor that had been designed for this exact scenario. As her guns chattered, the imps chasing the unfair lady were blown apart, exploding into greasy blurs of ichor under the hail of her fury. Rachel wondered if there would be enough left of them to fill a fried chicken bucket. She felt the squirming, fleshy sensation on her shoulders as she killed. Wrath again, of course. Her demonic heritage didn't care what she slaughtered, only that she slaughtered. Rachel didn't have time to think about that. Lipstick was still hauling ass, and there were still demons on the wing chasing her. She made the gun sing for a whole 10 seconds. Henry had told her that her job was simple. Get on Lipstick's ass, stay on it, keep the hammer down, and just chew it up. There needed to be an impenetrable chain of hot lead between the rear of her car and the front of Rachel's car that no demon could survive. Anything that walked, crawled, or flew across the earth that entered that corridor of doom would be torn to confetti. Lipstick's car flew over an especially dangerous pothole that Rachel had to swerve swiftly to avoid. The Z-car was light, nimble, even with all the armor and the tombstone on the rear. It was still a sprinter that could float over the worst the road could offer with robust suspension. Rachel's Polara was not such a car. If she put the nose of her Dodge land yacht in that chunk of concrete, that would be the end of that piece of automotive history. Lipstick gained a couple car lengths in the exchange as Rachel ripped the wheel to get back on her ass. She hadn't, however, accounted for the fact that Lipstick had actually slowed down following the jump. Rachel was back on her a little too close and a little too quick. Fortunately, there were plenty of demons chasing Lipstick to provide a buffer between Lipstick's rear bumper and the Polara's bull bars. For a brief second, Rachel and Lipstick traded paint, or they would have if they didn't just trade demon blood instead. Between the two cars meeting and caressing at high speed was a lubricating layer of squished demon. Rachel watched in macabre fascination and bloodthirsty satisfaction as a couple of imps that were too close to Lipstick's tail were sandwiched between their cars and pinned like a vice. Rachel didn't know demons had ribs. She assumed they did, but she knew for sure when she saw their shattered bones poking through their squashed torsos, hanging from her bull bars like gory rags. Bullets flew over Rachel's side view mirror. She saw tracers zip past her car, and a streak of demon blood painted her window. Without looking, she knew that there must have been some straggling imps on her ass, and Henry was carefully cleaning them, picking them off at opportune moments so that he wouldn't hit the Polara, which did not have a tombstone built into the rear yet. In front of the convoy of demon murder, Rachel heard the sudden whine of the miniguns over the engines. The thundering sound of those weapons firing in one continuous blur of noise momentarily drowned out all three cars. Rachel could barely see the crowd of demons that was in front of them. Lipstick barreled right through them, the miniguns spreading them like butter, turning them into pink mist. By the time Rachel passed through where Lipstick had been, only a car length or two behind her now, there was nothing in her path but rivers of blood. She understood now why every Hell Patrol car had mud flaps. Henry called out behind them on the radio, crackling through the dash. "That was a good pack. Give them a quarter and flip a bitch. We'll run them again." "Roger that. Overtake me when I go and fall back in behind me. I'm gonna e-brake it," Lipstick crackled back. Rachel followed Lipstick, but gave her another length. After about a quarter mile, Lipstick veered, then yanked the brake and spun the car around and gunned it back up. Rachel had to fight the wheel of the Dodge to get back behind her, but she succeeded, and was soon back to within 2 lengths of the unfair lady. Damn, but that Datsun was quick on its feet. The demons, of course, had been chasing the whole time, and not learning their lesson, were bundled up again in their pursuit. The miniguns chirped, and once again, Rachel's car was painted in red spray. A stray imp landed on her hood and got its claw stuck in the zombie screen on her windshield. Rachel didn't hesitate. With a single press of the stud, the imp's upper body was sheared off in a hail of bullets. The detached legs slumped off her fenders like a sack of potatoes. They passed Henry and the Monaro coming the other way, scything through the pack. They were slicing the mob of demons like squares off of a slab of butter, running them down, coming and going. The demons didn't have any tactics or strategy. Their sole goal was to grab onto the cars and claw or bite them open somehow. No matter how many of them disappeared in a hail of gunfire or went under the wheels, more always spilled into the breach and fell right after. Rachel had to constantly remind herself that mortality was meaningless to demons. They didn't care about getting sent back to hell. It was where they lived. Only the winged imps seemed to have any idea of what was going on, relentlessly chasing after the cars on their bat-like pinions. But they didn't seem to care either, and were picked off summarily by the point driver's wingman. When the time came to mop up, Lipstick and Rachel fell back into a line with Henry, 3 cars wide, and rolled down the street at 10 miles per hour, gunning down stragglers. "Where do the corpses go?" Rachel asked on the radio, noting that despite the fact that the streets were painted red with gore, there weren't nearly as many bodies as she expected. The first time the unfair lady drove a path through the pack, it was wall to wall across the street, building to building on either side of the road. "They ain't like zombies, no body on the material plane," Lipstick crackled. "Without any force to anchor them in reality, most of their gunk slides back home to hell. Only more powerful demons leave behind stuff like bones." No wonder the gun cameras were so essential for kill credit. When they returned to their rendezvous point, Henry popped the trunk, plugged a microwave into the battery using a terminal installed in the back, and started cooking instant ramen 1 cup at a time with bottled water. "You ever get tired of eating that crap?" Lipstick asked. "Grocery store was out of the microwave burritos I like," Henry shrugged. "I like it. Keeps me humble. Reminds me of when I had to eat when I was poor. Nothing tastes better after a hard day of demon murder than a good old cup of poverty noodles to remind you where you came from and how far you've come. Ain't that right, Ray?" Rachel didn't say anything, but took a steaming cup of microwave instant noodles that he offered her. He handed her a plastic spork that also came out of a cardboard box in his trunk. "Is there anything you don't have in that trunk?" Rachel asked. "A nice, big-titty blonde human chick with a bad boy fetish. You gotta find those on the street," Henry said. Rachel gave him side-eye. Lipstick gave him a dirty look. "You asked," Henry smiled. He pulled a cigar tube out of his jacket pocket. "You know, sometimes I think we really got one up on the humans. They don't let them join Hell Patrol. It's only for us pobrecito degenerate tiefling scum. Man, they don't know how much fun they're missing." Henry smiled. He sporked out a mouthful of noodles and swallowed them, then reached into his pocket for his Zippo to light his cigar. "What is with you and human girls anyway?" Lipstick asked. "Why do you care? I ain't your type and you ain't my type, and we're co-workers. You're off the radar. Who gives a shit if we don't want each other? Makes the job easier," Henry said. "You don't think it's wrong to be othered, to be fetishized?" Rachel added. "Maybe I don't see it like that because I'm a dude," Henry puffed the cigar. "But everybody's got a fetish. You're always going to be somebody's freak thing. Lipstick's only into girls. You're into big gorilla tough guys. Me, I just like hot girls that like me. I don't care why. At the end of the day, it ain't about why people want you. It's whether or not they're polite about it and pay you what you're worth. You can't control how nice they are, but you can control how you get paid. Me, I'm a trans-dimensional trash man for hire. I take out the demon garbage and put them in the landfill where they belong. Bills are paid, life is good." "How much do you think we made today?" Rachel asked. If I had to guess, ballpark of 35 grand. Oh, fuck. I fucked up. That's Henry's line. I was reading it like it was lipstick. If I had to guess, ballpark of 35 grand. Lipstick probably got closer to 50. She opened that pack with the miniguns and got more than any of us, Henry said. Those miniguns eat money, though. Hell Patrol only kicks you back for ammo up to a point. After that, it's all you. And those fuckers run through it, Lipstick explained. At the end of the day, after I square the cost of maintenance and rearm, I'll probably be in the same ballpark as you. Hey, Rachel, want to go celebrate in your old place tonight, the Hellhole? Henry asked. We don't have any human girls, Henry. They all work the nice clubs, Rachel said. Yeah, well, I feel like slumming tonight, relaxing. Kick back my people a little tip, you know? Besides, that place lets me smoke indoors, Henry said. Does that girl with the jet black skin still work there? Lipstick added. Valerie? Rachel asked. That's her name? Thought she was Raven. Raven's her stripper name. Yeah, she's still there, Rachel said. Does she like girls? Lipstick asked. I don't think she doesn't like girls. She always used to try me into doing some girl shows with her, Rachel said. I'm in. See you there at 10? Damn. That's a short-ass chapter. Okay. Chapter 14 recap. What happened? Everything died. The end. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. Hold on. Obligatory. Those edibles ain't shit. Yeah, they really are, though. Oh, man. Hey, it's Henry. And I'm high as fuck. Thanks for listening to us blast some demon shit on Hell Patrol Origin. Chapter 14. Chapter 15. We're going to the strip club, baby. I gotta throw some ones and some G-strings and smoke my cigar. Hell yeah. Some other stuff's gonna happen that's actually really important, but I ain't gonna spoil it, 'cause I don't get down like that. Thanks for stopping by. Next chapter. Chapter 15. The penultimate chapter. That means that it's the second to last one. Don't miss it. With me, your buddy, Henry. These edibles ain't shit winks. Oh, fuck. Oh, why do I keep doing this to myself? I'm so high.